Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. This is the final part in the Ava Gardner series that I've been working on over the last couple of months. And in this video we will be making the unused striped dressing gown from the opening scenes that Ava Gardner wore in Showboat. If you haven't seen part one of this video, I will link it in the description below and on the end screen. While I was at the Ava Gardner Museum in America, I was very fortunate enough to be able to read Ava's bound script of Showboat because I wanted to see, I'd heard about all these missing scenes that were filmed and then cut from the final version, and they were all there in the script and it was very, very interesting. So I thought I would give you a summary of the original opening of the film, which is quite different from what we have in the finished version of the film. So I'll talk you through what these scenes were and illustrate it with some photographs that I have been able to find of the film scenes. So we have the opening credits as we have in the film, and then it goes into scenes of Captain Andy running along the deck of the ship, giving orders to the crew. We then go into Ava Gardner's first scene in the film, where she comes out of the cabin and walks along the deck and is seen by Pete, who is one of the crew. He takes out a coral necklace and grabs Julie's arms. She tells him that she is not interested in him and that her husband will kill him. She walks away and then he throws the necklace into Julie's cabin. Then there is a brief scene between Julie and Captain Andy where she tries to convince him to take the boat onto Boonville. Julie then moves along the deck and meets Magnolia. Parfy comes along and tells Julie that she'd better go and change into her show costume, and tells Magnolia to go and carry on sewing the costumes for the show. We then cut into the inside of Julie's cabin, and here there is an exchange between Julie and Steve. At this point we then cut to the scenes that we have as the opening in the film that we see today. So I'm going to leave you there and I'll see you at the end with the... I start by cutting out the skirt panels. I then sew these together. Next, I move on to cutting out the chevron panels that go around the bottom of the skirt. These are then sewn together and top stitched onto the bottom of the skirt. I then sew the hem up by hand. Next, I move on to cutting out the bodice backing fabric out of a white cotton. And then, next, I cut the striped top fabric. Here you can see me sewing in the tucks in the bodice front, but take out the waist shaping. Here I am sewing the side panel and the back panel of the bodice together. Next I seam up the bodice front backing panels. These are made up separately to the front top fabric. Next I move on to cutting out the collar. This is made up of a third circle pieces. Next, I move on to cutting out and sewing the sleeves together. Lastly, I cut and sew the sleeve frills together. And here's the finished dressing gown. I have to say I absolutely love the details on this. The way that the stripes are used is really interesting. The chevron detailing around the hem and then the circular cutting on the collar and the cuffs. And also the way the stripes are taken in on the centre front to take in the shaping rather than using a dart or a seam, which is more usual. This costume is now on display at the Ava Gardner Museum in Smithfield, North Carolina, until the end of September next year, along with the green plaid dress that I made last month. I'd like to thank my patrons, as always, for supporting me on this channel. And if you would like to become a patron, I will leave a link in the description below, or if you don't wish to subscribe to that, you could click the thanks tab below the screen. Please join me next month where I will be making a well-known Hollywood Christmas dress. Thank you for watching and see you again very soon.